And a happy Friday to you, and all of you. It's Danny Boy.
And Bill Corpus Crispy Murphy, what's going on, folks? And Reggie, my boy, it's not only Friday, it's Friday of a long weekend.
It is Memorial Day. Usually a bittersweet time. My grandfather was in the military, so
So
um,
both of mine. So,
yeah, so um, bittersweet day. Um,
you know, I
on
just
coming up on Monday.
I just want to say, with Memorial Day coming up on Monday, a lot of people view this weekend as, hey, the unofficial start of summer, which is kind of
Yeah.
weird here because up here where I am in New York, it's been like 50 degrees.
Yeah, same. It's in DC, it's like 60. It's like,
People talking
who's
about
going to
putting
the beach
their
at 60 degrees, Billy?
yeah, people talking about here putting their heat on, where
Yeah,
we should be talking about putting our air conditioners on.
exactly.
But but now up here, like this weekend, it's supposed to be like in the 60s. I think Sunday's supposed to be like 70.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's weird. But anyway,
But
like I said, Memorial Day, I think we lose what the true meaning of Memorial Day is. It's
yeah.
not just the unofficial start of summer. It's not just a long weekend. It's not just an extra day off from school or work, or it's a weekend we barbecue. Everyone, whilst you're barbecuing, please just remember that freedom isn't free,
Hmm.
and and remember that this is when we honor those who served our country, and especially those who made the ultimate sacrifice.
Yeah.
So
And
please, while you're barbecuing or going camping or going away or doing whatever this weekend, just remember that freedom isn't free, and just remember what the true meaning of this weekend is about.
of course, send love to everyone involved in any type of military activity, and you know, let them know that they're thought about on that day, they're loved, and you know. Understand that the reason why you have that holiday is because of that, of their sacrifice. So always send love. But in any case, we have a show today, big one. Knicks trying to save their season after that just horrific loss in game one.
Oh, yeah.
And that was bad. That was really bad.
Yeah, that was game one. The Knicks lost in overtime at the
Lost in
Garden.
overtime after blowing a 14-point lead. They had like 2 minutes to go. Um, Now, of course, everyone's gonna talk about how the Knicks choked, and look,
Rightfully so.
that's totally accurate. However, I don't want to lose sight, Bill, on the fact that the Pacers actually are a good team. Like I don't want this to be about all the Knicks choked it away and gave the game to Indiana. No, 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 no. Because I'm watching the game. I know what I'm watching. The Knicks were answering Indiana's three-pointers that were just flying off the hands of Aaron Nesmith, who was just absolutely tremendous down the stretch. I think he hit like five three-pointers or whatever, scored like 20 points in a short period of time. I think he had 30 on the night. But like, you know, don't act like the Knicks choked it away because while yes, it might be a bit accurate, you also got to understand the Knicks answered back every time Indiana made a shot.
Yeah, but
So don't make this necessarily about the Knicks choking, but make it about Indiana being a good team and staying in the game. Because Indiana's a good team. I don't want to lose sight of the fact that Indiana's a good team. And they're on the same level of the Knicks. And just like the Knicks, they had some flair for their dramatics in the semifinals, conference semifinals as well.
yeah,
So, just don't lose sight of that. And obviously we'll talk about how the Knicks choked because they did, but don't lose sight of the fact that Indiana's actually a good team as
It's
well.
not like they led and then they let the Pacers just pull ahead.
Yeah.
They kept up with them.
Yeah, as much as they can. Of course, look, the
And
Pacers make big plays down the stretch too. But yeah, man, that was an insane um last couple minutes of the fourth quarter. I thought when Halliburton made that incredible shot, he was trying to escape Mitchell Robinson. By the way, why the hell was Mitchell Robinson not in that fourth quarter? I don't understand. This is the thing. And look, I love Tibbs. I don't think he should be fired. I think the Knicks have done better than I thought they would do. But Tibbs, my broski, your starting five is not good defensively. I think everyone and their grandma knows
not
that.
just their mother, if their grandmother.
You know, you got to put Mitchell Robinson out there because Mitchell Robinson has been giving the Pacers problems all night, and the Pacers admitted to it. The Pacers admitted that Mitchell Robinson was a major problem for them. And there's how are we going to score? Mitchell Robinson is out there and absolutely killing us defensively. Not only killing us defensively, but he gets rebounds and is always a threat down low on the offensive end. So knowing that he matches up well and he can get you big time plays with this Pacers team, why isn't Mitchell Robinson out there for the Knicks? I don't understand why. I don't get it. Um, but he was out for most of that fourth quarter. He obviously came in late to try to defend Halliburton. Halliburton obviously escapes him and then makes that ridiculous shot. I thought it was a three-pointer, but he went Kevin Durant on us, the toe on the line. So it was a two-pointer, and that forced overtime, Bill.
Yes, it did. And here's the thing. What we gotta say about the Knicks is, okay, you know what? I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna be honest. I think Knick fans, especially, I think everybody was getting off the Celtics series, and like, listen, and rightfully so. You just beat the defending world champs. And I think now, like, Knick fans are thinking, hey, if we could beat the Celtics, we could beat anyone.
Right.
But at the same time, though, is okay, you could celebrate that, okay, but sorry, guys, celebration time for that is over. Now it's time to come down and think, okay, it's a new series. We're playing Indiana now. And you know Indiana's not just going to let us walk in and take it. And you know Indiana's going to put up a fight.
Mm,
And like, here's the thing. Okay, part of me is thinking, I was talking about this with a couple of my coworkers yesterday.
right.
It's one game. Part of me thinking, okay, it's one game. Just get the first game jitters out,
Yeah.
and there's another game. But here's the thing, though. Reg, agree or disagree? Tonight, in a way, is a must-win
The Knicks lose. It's a wrap. I think it ends in like five
because no,
because
no, I can
Indiana,
agree with you because I would rather go to Indiana split than go down 2-0.
like I cannot imagine the Knicks getting out of Indiana, which in itself is very hostile environment. The Knicks always have fits in the playoffs in Indiana. I don't know why, but they always get some type of fit in the playoffs over in Indy. So yeah, no, I think it's a wrap if the Knicks lose. Like I don't
Tonight,
trust the Knicks to come back from 2-0. Like I'd be shocked. Let's just say Knicks go down 2-0. I'll be very shocked if they get back to Madison Square Garden, and I think they will. I'll be shocked if they're back and it's this tied series. But let me look. obviously it's playoffs and anything can happen. But if the Knicks are serious about winning, look, losing game one isn't to me that big a deal. How they lost it is very concerning, but it's not the big deal. The big deal is how do you respond after you lose? And they have to respond with the win. I don't care how they win. Again, there's no style points. Win is a win. So, however you win. They need it because I'm with you, Bill. I would much rather 1-1 split go into Indy than up 2-0, knowing that that crowd's going to be electric.
Listen, now a lot of you are probably thinking, "Oh, you guys are just being hyperbolic. If it's game two," I'm like thinking,
No,
no. If I don't want to go back I don't want to go into Indy down 2 games to none.
no, that is dangerous territory.
That is very dangerous territory, Reggie.
Hmm.
Like if we were in Indy and we lost the first 2 games in Indy, I still wouldn't be thrilled, but I'd be saying, okay, at least we're going back to the Garden. At
Right.
least we're going back to the Garden. We can make something happen. But I would rather go to Indy split than go down 2-0.
Yeah. And I'm with you on that. Like, I want, look, I want to make sure that the Knicks, if they're going to make it a series, that they actually make it a series. That was a rough game one, obviously overtime, a lot of back and forth. Indy's defense down the stretch in that overtime session was just tremendous. Knicks all out of sorts there. They ended up winning. 1-0 the Pacers. And um it sucks because Karl Anthony Towns actually had a tremendous game. So did Jalen Brunson. You would think if Jalen Brunson scores 40 plus, there's no way the Knicks lose that game. Yet they did. So just tough ones. That look, they have to be coached better down the stretch. They have to close it out. When you're up 14, 2 minutes to go, like look, miracles happen, but find ways to keep your lead so that none of that happens again. But you know what, Bill? It's gonna be a good series. I think it's gonna be a good series. I think it'll be a long series. Um, I think these are two about evenly matched. I'm not going to say evenly matched
Because
totally.
if I'm the Pacers, and let me tell you, Pacers came out swinging on Wednesday night.
Mhm.
They came out swinging on Wednesday night. And you know what? Because if you're the Pacers and you're facing the Knicks, like, listen, you are playing a team that just knocked off the defending champs.
Right.
So they're not just going to let you walk into Madison Square Garden and let you take it. Like, they're going to fight. But, and the Knicks got to view this too. Like, okay, you beat the Pacers just beat the Cavs, right? Or was that in the first round?
What?
Pacers beat the Cavs in the previous
The
round or the
the
first
the,
round?
the semifinal, conference semi.
The Pacers just beat the number one seeded team with the
They're a good
Cavs.
team. Pacers are a good team.
Then the
Cannot
Knicks
lose
got
sight
to
of that.
know they're not going to let you walk in. The Pacers aren't going to let you walk into Indiana and take it. They're
No.
going to make you fight for it. Dumb. So anyway, yeah.
How about
So
Halliburton with the Reggie Miller choke sign? The
and
Reggie Miller
Spike
choke
Lee
sign.
was there too.
And then Reggie in the
Reggie was there
we
too.
saw pictures of Reggie pointing at the Pacers. It was tremendous. All of it was tremendous from the Indiana side. I even as a Knicks fan, like you cannot help but
You could
smile
not script that more
knowing
perfectly.
knowing the Knicks once again blow opportunities against Pacers. Like I just don't understand it in the play. I don't understand it. Uh why do I have a feeling this is going to be not only a long series, but a great series. Like I don't know, Bill. I have this feeling that this is gonna be like one of those like magical series um that will like completely make the Knicks seasons. I don't know if they're gonna win the series, but why do I have this feeling this is gonna be like one of those back and forth incredible matchups?
I have a feeling that's going to happen.
Why? I don't know. Like this has the makings of like one of the best series in NBA history. Like that's what I'm thinking of. So I really hope that the Knicks bounce back and punch Indy in the mouth, so that at the very least, like you said, they go back to we have a chance to go back to Madison Square Garden in this series.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
Okay, so Knicks game two at the Garden tonight.
Hmm.
You know, run. So game two at MSG tonight, and whew, dude, this is going to be a humdinger of a series.
Oh,
Do people
I'm
still say
excited by
humdinger? If they don't, I just did
it.
because I'm Bill.
Because he's Bill.
Because I'm Bill. We should make a shirt that says that. Because he's Bill. Okay. So anyway, we go to game.
The horse's feet that don't move.
My bad. Um,
We go. Okay, so game two tonight at the Garden, and there's another series going on. OKC beating Minnesota last night up 2-0.
yeah, yeah, how about that? And a tremendous game all around for Oklahoma City. Uh, pretty much dominant from start, and
They were on fire.
it was tremendous stuff. 38 points from SGA, Shea Gilgeous Alexander. And he's a tremendous player. 26 out of Jalen Williams. Chet Holmgren had 22. And then and then the T-Wolves, look, they tried to hang around. Anthony Edwards did have 32 points. Um, but of course, the one person that all everyone's looking at because he's improved so much in the playoffs, and that's Julius Randle. He only gives 6 points. He goes 2 for 11 from the field. Like, that is not gonna help Minnesota. Minnesota needs to have Julius Randle be out there being a massive force alongside Anthony Edwards in order to make anything work here in this series. Otherwise, with all the cast and characters that OKC has, it's never going to be a good time. So 2-0 lead for OKC. Um, a lot of frustration in Minnesota. Like you can tell, Bill. I know Anthony Edwards was very frustrated in game one. Um, Julius looks frustrated in game two. Like there's just a lot of sourness right now in Minnesota. Um, I think they might be a bit overmatched here, more than I thought at the very least. And look, we knew OKC was probably the favorite to go to the finals, but you know, by the way, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is the MVP, NBA MVP of the season. But and of course his brilliant play in the semifinals, so in this conference final, excuse me, so far has been absolutely awesome to watch. Um, but yeah, no, look, I think while I think OKC, we all know they were the favorite, I didn't think they would put Minnesota, uh, make him this pissy, to be honest with you.
No, I didn't think they were good. It. You think OKC is going to win this series, or do you think Minnesota is not done yet?
I don't know. I think Minnesota gets a game. I think they get a game. I just don't know if um I just don't know if they have enough balls, in my opinion, to go out and beat this OKC team. Um, the Thunder are tough. The Thunder are a very tough team. I think they're a little overmatched, the T-Wolves. I think they're a bit overmatched. And the first two games, knowing how frustrated the T-Wolves have been, I think it might be a bit too much for them. I think they get a game at least, but I don't know. I think that the series is done.
So you think OKC is going to the NBA Finals?
Well, I already predicted that, but yeah, now I know for sure they're going to go to the finals.
All right, so over to the so yeah, so game three is probably tomorrow night, right?
Yes, it'd be Saturday.
Game three tomorrow, game two tonight at the Garden. The NBA playoffs are really gonna heat up.
Getting heated up, and it's so exciting to watch too. Like it's incredible, man. Okay, NBA rolls on to the finals. Crazy stuff. Um, Over to baseball, quickly on the Yankees.
Four in a row.
We haven't really talked Yankees much, but how about the Yankees?
Oh, we're due for a Bombers banter soon.
We are due for a Bombers banter. We are very due for a Bombers. I think sometime next week. We'll plan for it.
We'll talk.
We'll plan for it. It's a busy time for me at work.
Me as well. I'm busy with
Yeah,
work too.
Bill and I, while we do have lives and we love doing this podcast, we also have to make money.
Yeah, we got bills to pay.
Yeah.
We
Um,
got now. Okay, we don't got mouths to feed, but I got bills to pay. I
well,
got mouths to feed.
we can feed our own mouths, you
Ain't
know.
nothing in this world for free. If you know that song, good for you.
Uh, we promise you a Bombers banter. So far, yeah, making me eat my words. The Yankees, their May has actually been
How do
good.
those words taste, Reggie?
Yeah, the Yankees have been great in May. You know, I have to admit,
We've had
so
a
far
very
so
good
good.
May.
They're not the best team in the league. We all know that. But they're looking pretty good, and they've won four in a row. They beat the Mets two out of three in the Subway Series. They swept the Texas Rangers, and you know, I think what's really good to see from this team is the fact that their pitching has been better than I thought it would be. Um, Certainly the bats have been a major factor. Um, I love seeing the Martian get involved a little bit.
It's gonna be a strike, then you
Excuse me. I don't know why it automatically comes on. Um, Rodon's been pitching a lot better. Uh, Obviously, the presence of Luke Weaver closing out games has been huge. Overall, I think the Yankees have done a very good job at one finding ways to win via the hitting, and then the fact that their pitching has actually been serviceable, and that's been big. That's been huge for them.
Well, oh, absolutely. The pitching, Max Fried has been a beast.
He's been tremendous.
Max Fried has been an absolute beast.
Yeah.
And picture if we had Cole.
Mm,
Dude, that rotation would be unstoppable.
right.
But no, that the Yankee rotation's been good. The bats have been good.
Yeah. And again, like it's something that I wasn't necessarily expecting. However, it's the case. It's looking good, you know. I don't know, I'm excited. I don't want to get too excited, but I'm very excited by the Yankees right now.
Yeah, we don't want to get too. I understand why you don't want to get too excited.
Um,
I understand why you don't want to get too excited. It's you don't want to get your hopes up, you know?
yeah. But the Yankees are leading the American League East at 30-19. Um, they're 18-9 at home. So that's another big thing. 8-2 in their last 10. And look, but obviously, they're the second team to 30 wins. The first team was the Detroit Tigers. Tigers have also been tremendous. Um, yeah, so I don't want to get my hopes up, but the Yankees looking very good. They're looking very sharp, and they have a big series in Colorado. Can we whoop their asses, Bill?
Oh, I'd be down.
Can we whoop the Rockies? I'm telling you, Bill, this is I'll be very frustrated if the Yankees don't kick their ass. The Rockies are off to their worst start in MLB history since 1895. Get this,
Whoa.
the Louisville Colonels, I believe, um, were 7-43 in 1895. Since the modern era, the Rockies 8-42 to start the season.
Wow.
First 50 game start since 1895. Can we whoop their ass, please? Like there should be no reason why the Yankees can't sweep them out of Coors Field. There should be no reason why.
Oh, absolutely.
Brutal. By the way, they were swept by the Phillies in 4 games, and they didn't stand a chance in any of those games. So, uh, but yeah,
And
three game set, win the series. Don't be stupid. Win the series. At the very least, go 2 out of 3. Because I get it. Look, you're not going to win every game. But can we sweep them? There should be no reason why we can't sweep them.
so, whilst this Yankee talk, I got to give you something. I just found this something funny I think you might find interesting. Jason Dominguez, he said he's been comfortable now speaking English because you know where he's actually learned English? He's
Where?
actually learned English from watching episodes of Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Hey!
And
Love
also,
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
I want to give this other thing he learned English from. I want to give a shout out to my very dear friend Justin Favaro. He actually also learned English from watching Marvel movies.
Okay. So, watching the Marvel Cinematic Universe and Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Interesting.
That's
I hope Andy Sandberg knows that, by the way.
You better, Jason Dominguez, you better be giving Andy Sandberg Yankee tickets for the rest of his life
You
for
know?
that. Um, and Kevin Feige's got enough money. He could probably afford to buy them. But
Yeah.
Kevin Feige, who's the president of Marvel.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's actually interesting because I was actually just reading that off Facebook because people who have come from another country and they're trying to learn English. English is actually one of the hardest languages to learn, believe it or not.
Yeah.
And some people learn English from pop culture.
Yeah, it's crazy how that's the case. I know this one person, she came to America not knowing a lick of English, but watched Friends. Watched Friends. I believe she also watched that 70s show too and learned English just by watching just television in general. I think she watched a lot of cartoons and everything. Like it's
It's more
literally the
common than you
best way
think.
that's that and they say the same thing about Spanish too. You know, you gotta blend yourself into the culture and figure out the speech patterns there. Like hang out with people, watch the shows and everything. It's like it's if you really want to learn, it's 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 incredible.
No, because I remember two. One of them has to do with sports, the other one doesn't, and but they both have to do with Russia. I don't know if you remember Pavel Bure. He was a hockey player for the Vancouver Canucks. His brother is actually married to Candace Cameron, who played DJ in Full House,
Right,
because Pavel and his brother were actually friends with Dave Coulee,
right.
Joey, and they actually told Dave Coulee that they actually learned English by watching Full House reruns.
Interesting.
And another thing is I remember when I saw Paul McCartney a couple years ago at the Garden. He played back in the USSR, and then after that, he was telling a story that he went to go play it in Russia. And he said, I'm standing there with a friend of mine, and there's a guy over there in a suit. He's with the Russian government. He goes, Paul, he's with the government. And the guy comes over to him, and he's telling the story, and Connor goes, Paul, we listen to it. We learned English by listening to Beatles songs. For those who couldn't understand me, my horrible Russian accent, he goes, we actually learned English by listening to Beatles songs. And hey, Paul, love me do. She loves you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But no, like people, I think, and I just find that I know this really has nothing to do with sports, but I just find that very interesting that Jason Dominguez learned English by watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine and Marvel movies.
Yeah.
Because you know what it is? I think it's how some people learn. Some people learn by reading. Others people learn by listening. They listen by watching. They listen by doing.
Mm.
And I think maybe that's why people learned learn languages by media
Yeah.
because
It's incredible how it
they
works.
actually see it in action.
Yeah.
They see it in action. So yeah, but I think that's pretty cool that Jason Dominguez learns English by watching Marvel and Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah, and I'm glad that he's trying to, at the very least, um, you
Because
know,
you can't. Some people
understand the American way of life for
you
sure.
can't
Yeah,
just put a book in front of them and say learn English.
yeah, yeah.
And
And
I get
yeah, I'm glad because, like I said, English is very hard. So I'm glad. I'm glad for him.
so. Anyway. All right. What else do we got to talk
Uh,
about?
we do have a passing to note. This is a tough one. Um, and of course, sending love to all my fellow folks over in Indianapolis and all those people. I got a friend out there who's a major Colts fan, major Pacers fan. But Jim Irsay, obviously the Irsay family, owner of the Colts for a very long time since the 1970s. With starting off with his father, Bob Irsay, who obviously very controversial for moving the Colts from Baltimore to Indianapolis. Um, Jim Irsay passed away in his sleep Wednesday. Um, the thing he was at I believe he was at the meetings with the tush push stuff. Uh, I could be wrong, but in any case, he passed away in his sleep on Wednesday. Um, what was he like 68 or something? I forget how old he was. He was 65. So sorry, 65. Um, no cause of death was given, but he was battling health issues recently. I know he had been struggling with addiction for a very long time. Um, The Indianapolis Star also reported that he had been recuperating after undergoing several operations following a fall at his home. So again, I don't we there's no cause of death yet, but uh probably had some major health issues um, before his death bill. This is just an awful tragedy. Jim Irsay, very, very immersed in that Indiana culture, loved
Yes.
giving back to people, fans, and when the Irsay name was pretty much damaged from Bob Irsay and all of his dumb antics. Jim Irsay came in and really revitalized that Colts team and turn them into a major powerhouse late 90s into the 2000s and have been relevant ever since.
Oh, and plus he was there when they got Peyton Manning,
Exactly,
there
yeah.
with the Super Bowl. He really turned this into a powerhouse, except the last couple years, not so much.
Yeah, I mean, okay, but still, like one of the best periods in franchise history.
One of the
It
best
was
quarterbacks in the NFL.
it was Jim Irsay who led the charge as owner. So, a tough loss if you're a Colts fan, tough loss if you're a football fan in general. Jim Irsay, certainly one of the better owners out there. Very loving, very caring, not always perfect, but certainly tried to uh, make things better in football. And it's a major loss and we're sending all the love over to the folks over in Indiana, the Irsay family, the entire Colts family. It's a tough one to swallow. Um, yeah, Bill, that was tough. When I saw that, I was shocked. Like to be honest, I was very shocked.
Yeah, I know he struggled from addiction, but and he died in his sleep. Could have been a heart attack, could have been a stroke, who knows? I just want to say our thoughts and prayers are with the Irsay family and with the Indianapolis Colts right now. And you were telling me before we went on air the last thing he tweeted.
Yeah, I'm trying to find a tweet now. Here we go. This is tremendous. Right before game one of the Eastern Conference Finals. That's his tweet.
Go Pacers, good luck to her, the entire Pacers organization in our city.
And that's the last ever post he had on Twitter. Amazing. Pacers won. So, but tough one. Tough day to Indiana. I'm glad the Pacers won because it was a tough day to see Jim Irsay pass away.
Yeah.
65 years old. Uh, Still fairly young, Bill. So, like,
My dad is going to be 65 in December, so
yeah, that was rough. But
rest
of course,
RIP.
yep, RIP for sure. And
Eh,
the season's going to be for Jim Irsay, the Colts season. They're going to be honoring him.
And yeah, so rest in peace, Jim Irsay. Some other NFL things I'd like to briefly touch on. The tush push is staying.
Yeah, how about that?
Oh God, I am so tired of the words tush push.
Look, I don't mind. I don't mind the move. If they want to keep the play, keep the play. Teams either have to find better ways to defend it or use it against teams like the Eagles and the Bills. Those are the two teams that we know for a fact use that play. So, you know, use it against them. Build a team so that you can do it yourself. Now, in my opinion, look, I'm cool with it as long as everyone else finds ways to either defend it or use it against other teams. I'm cool with it. I will say though, To say it doesn't give you a leg up, I'm sorry. Like, this idea, oh well, you can always defend it. Yeah, you can always defend it, but it gives you a leg up. Come on. You can't tell me that it does not give you a leg up.
You can't stop the tush
Come
push.
on. Come on. Come on. But I have no issue with it. I have no issue with it. Try to
Or
find
am I
better
just
ways to
getting
defend it
old?
or use it against the other teams. That's all I gotta say.
And also, y'all hear about this? The Olympics will be accepting flag football as a sport, and they're going to be using NFL players. Okay, you know what? I think this is a stupid idea.
Yeah, I would expect not the big NFL players will be playing.
Probably
The
like the
ones that
ones no
actually
one
take
cares
the
about.
people that actually take football seriously will not be playing in these flag football for the Olympics.
Because I'm
I
like,
think
sit,
I don't know. I think it's dumb. I think flag football is dumb for the Olympics. Look,
if
as
your
a
kids, fine.
yeah, like, as like a recreation in like an adult league. Okay, cool, whatever. Flag football's fun. But in the Olympics, no. I do not want any of my New York Jets to be going
Or my New
to
York Giants.
the Olympics in LA and playing flag football. Absolutely not. That is not happening.
Well, here's what I think. I think it's just dumb because even with the ones maybe who don't get all the big names, but still, there's a chance they'll be playing this year. And even though it's flag football, you don't want a chance of them getting hurt.
Yeah, and the Olympics happen what? It
4
depends.
years.
Well, every 4 years. I'm talking about like the months, like July, August. Like
Yeah.
at that point, like I want them to be focused on training camp. Like I don't want them to worry about this. Um, I don't want them to worry about doing other activities that may impact their season. I want them to get ready for the season, you know?
Oh, absolutely. Just, you don't want to interfere with training camp. You don't want to interfere with preseason.
Yeah.
Well, preseason's kind of a joke anyway, but
Yeah. So I hope it's the when it's all said and done, I hope the flag football, the people that play flag football, I hope that it's the people that are not so serious, or we know they're not going to be signed to a team or whatever. If you're going to be serious about football, I don't want you playing flag football.
no, I agree. I agree. So yeah, I think this was a dumb move by the Olympics. Why are you using NFL players?
And why is the NFL proving it? That's
Yeah,
another
that's
thing.
the big question. Why is the NFL approving it? God only knows.
Sheesh, man.
All right, dumbass of the year goes to Roger Goodell. Congratulations, you suck.
Um,
All right,
but by the way, um, I had a train of thought. I lost it. I'm so sorry. Um, yeah, we'll end it off here. But by the way, sending love to the WNBA. Caitlin Clark, stop pushing her around. And can the league not make so much of a big deal over this Angel Reese Caitlin Clark thing? Like, who cares?
it was a
Let them.
college thing.
Like, it was a call, but it's now spilled into the league because Angel Reese clearly hates Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark clearly hates Angel Reese. But it's like, let them play. It's all friendly competition for those of you that know what I'm talking about.
Did something else just happen recently? Or?
Oh yeah. Oh, you didn't see it. Oh yeah.
No,
So, Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese got into it again.
on Twitter.
No, on the
On
court.
Okay, I'm sorry. You were doing your hands like that, so I thought you were doing like a typing
No, on the
motion.
court. There was like a foul, a really hard foul on Caitlin Clark, and uh,
Ladies, grow up.
Angel Reese was not happy about that. So
Ladies, grow up.
yeah.
Like, listen, you had your little thing in college with each other. You guys are now professionals.
Yeah.
And I get it. There's intense rivalries, but guess what? Time's up. Time to start acting like adults here, folks.
All right. That's all the time.
Yeah, but no, yeah, just this shouldn't, this should not carry into the WNBA. It really shouldn't.
But it's professional sports, Bill. It's gonna carry in.
And look what happened years ago with Magic Johnson, Larry Bird.
It's gonna happen. All right.
All
Uh,
right, I think that's it for today.
like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Um, hit that bell for notifications for when we go live. Follow us on the socials at Insanity Real on X, search Sports Sanity Network on Facebook, and keep a lookout. We release podcasts all the time on most of these podcast platforms, and then of course, um, follow our podcasts. We're live on YouTube. We have audio versions as well, wherever you get your podcasts. And continue to visit our website, sportscitynetwork.com. We have a lot of blogs being released.
Yes, we do.
Uh, Mark Halpern talked about his anger and pain after game one of the Knicks. So uh, it's in there.
Go check it out.
Halpern's final offer is what he calls it.
Go check that out, folks.
All right, folks. Peace and love.
And stay safe.
We will see you next Friday.
Well, actually, we're going to do it next Saturday
Next
because
Saturday. That's right, Bill. You thanks for reminding me.
I got something for work that day. So,
So we won't be here Monday. We'll be here next Saturday.
yeah. But don't forget to check us out Monday night. We're going to be doing a special Jeopardy.
I'm kind of nervous for that though.
Hey, it's always a good time.
Yeah, kind of nervous for it.
It's going to be us. Mark Oldofsky Halpern will be hosting it.
Yeah,
It's going to be a fun time.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm pumped up for it.
Go to www.thesportsinsanitynetwork.com.